Tucson, a spiritual community where we celebrate love not just every single week, every single day we celebrate love. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And we're going to start off the day up-tempo. If you feel like standing and moving your body, if you're able, please feel free to do so. Something great is happening, love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion, we're drops in one ocean, roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling, be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh, every day's a chance you can do something amazing, to feel your passion blazing and shine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a world of love. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Let's stand together now. Let's stand together now. Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, so did you hear me go blah, 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 blah? So for those of you who are in the Saturday workshop, we mess up sometimes, and it's okay. Oh, yes, once again, good morning, beautiful, beautiful humans. Welcome to another Sunday here at Unity of Tucson. Like I said before, we are a spiritual community. Our point and purpose here is to teach practical tools for a better life. It is my belief that as we engage spiritual practice on a consistent and regular basis, that life just gets better all around. And I believe that because I have worked that in my own life, and my life has been consistently getting better. And you know what I even love more about that? I love that there's always room for it to be even better because God is infinite. And so we're always growing more and more in that infinite nature, in an infinite way. So there's always room for more in the infinite. So let's make life better together today. What do you say? Yeah? Yeah. Now, you may not believe everything you hear today. I keep saying this every week. You may not believe everything you hear today, and that is okay. I do think that you are going to hear something that you will believe. And it's important, I think, that we all look at our beliefs because our beliefs are creating our experience. As the great Master Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. And so as we explore what our beliefs are, as we deepen into the understanding and bring to the level of awareness the beliefs that are below the level of awareness, we put ourselves in a place of power to change our lives. And so that's what we're going to do today. Now, you're here on purpose as well, even if this is your first time and somebody dragged you here. Because there is a purpose at the core of each and every one of us that attracts into our experiences exactly that which we are equal to. And so that's why I love to remind everyone that we are here on purpose. We're here on this in this experience on purpose. So let's make this experience purposeful. We have a vision and mission that we carry through in our hearts and have adopted here at Unity of Tucson. And I would love for you to share with me the words of our vision statement. Here they are. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And the vision is the way we see the world. The mission is what we do to get there. So let's say the words of our mission statement together. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. I was at the Starbucks drive-thru a couple days ago. I enjoy Starbucks. And it was the barista who was at the drive-thru window said, I see you here all the time. I don't know anything about you. I see you here all the time. That'll tell you. I see you here all the time, but I don't know what you do. What is it that you do? I said, I'm a minister. Oh. Like all of a sudden, I said, but I'm the irreverent reverend, so we can go with that. And I said, what I teach is metaphysical teaching, and it is rooted in the Christian principles that Jesus taught, love and forgiveness. That's primarily what Jesus taught. And I think that if we start to really take that to heart, that we're going to create a shift in this world for the better. That's what we can actively do. And I think about this today specifically with this in mind, and this is a little deviation from what I was planning on doing today. But we are experiencing a world event, right? And I'm not trying to bring the room down. I just want to acknowledge the fact that we are experiencing a world event, and the degree to which we can lend our hearts, lend our minds, lend our active use of this principle to peace, we will create the construct of peace in our world. And so what I would like to do is to lead us all in a prayer for peace in Ukraine. So if you would take a moment to relax just right where you are, and if it is safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, just allow yourself to settle into an awareness of the inner life. Just open up your heart space in this moment, knowing that right where you are a light of peace. Acknowledging this, that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is one creative principle. There is God and nothing else. God, the creative energy of the universe, is manifesting itself in all that is. There is absolutely no separation from the created and the creator. It is all one thing. I root myself in this understanding and invite us all to be rooted deeply in this understanding. And knowing that this is our identity, I know that the word I speak right here and right now on behalf of each and every one of us is backed by the infinite power of creation. And so I speak my word on behalf of the people of Ukraine and the people, anyone who is affected by the experiences that are unfolding in that part of the world. I root myself in the understanding and speak my word for the infinite power to resolve any conflict, the infinite power to unfold, unleashing itself as love, the infinite power to unfold, unleashing itself as light and wisdom. It unfolds itself now, and I know that this light, this wisdom, this love, this harmony, rooted at the center of each and every one of us, transmutes itself into experience and becomes the construct of this world. It begins right here, right where we are. And so with an acknowledgement of the gratitude in my heart, overflowing for this understanding, and overflowing with the acknowledgement that this word spoken is acted upon by an infinite law of mind action. I let it be so, and I know it as so. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. We have power through the use of our mind and the use of our words, and I think that we should never forget that. And it is never, ever, ever an inappropriate time to pray. It is always an appropriate time to pray. So, if you are joining us here for the first time, If you are online joining us for the first time, I would love for you to reach out and let us know that you have decided to be with us on this beautiful Sunday. There's a way that you can connect with us by going to unitytucson.com/connect, filling out some information there, and we will be happy to make that connection with you, and deeply grateful and delighted to have you with us on this beautiful day. If you are joining us here in person and are in the room for the first time, if you are open to identifying yourself, and I always make it optional because not everybody's comfortable with identifying themselves. If you are open to identifying yourself, we would love to spread some love your way and also give you a gift. So if you are new and would like to stand up and identify yourself, please do so. Welcome, grateful to have you here. Welcome, 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 grateful to have you here. Oh, wonderful, wonderful new people everywhere. And if you would remain standing, there's something that we know about you. We have done our research here at Unity of Tucson, and we have something to tell you in terms of what we have found. Is everyone ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Thank you for being here. You can be seated. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful day. Now, you are magnificent, and we know that about you because every person that we encounter, every person in our lives is a reflection of some aspect of our being. And so we can recognize your magnificence because we get to claim our own magnificence. So let us say this together. I am magnificent. Indeed, we all are. Would you please welcome today's Keeper of the Flames to the stage. This is Susan Smith, our licensed Unity teacher. Always grateful to have her join us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We engage in this ceremony, lighting the flames of faith each week as a reminder to each and every one of us that all faith traditions, all religious paths, and all spiritual ideas are rooted in one thing, that is love. And so let us honor the paths of the world through this ceremony by first lighting a candle for the Tao, which honors the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle, for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be as yet unaware of the power and the presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we hold open for them in our own hearts. This final candle is the healing candle. And we light the healing candle with this understanding. It represents the healing of any circumstance, the revealing of the God essence at the core of all creation, for that is how we teach healing, the uncovering of God in all that is. And so this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. So good morning.
Good morning.
So delighted to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's delightful to be here.
It's one. Yes. So Susan is going to talk to us a little bit about the homework that I assigned last week. Now I always tell the new people. I assign homework every week. And part of the reason that I do that is because, as I said earlier, it is my intention that we put spiritual practice into practice to make it a practical thing that we're doing in our lives. And so I invite our community to do homework. You're not graded on the homework.
That's good.
And it is optional. Although I encourage it. Well, it's optional for everybody except the keeper of the flames once a month.
Yes.
Because they get to tell us what happened with them last week. So last week I gave this assignment. Oh, wait, I went ahead. Don't mind me. Nobody knows what just happened, but I'm going to let that go.
Okay.
This was the assignment that I gave. Was to find some way to be of service. That was the whole point and purpose of last week's message, was to find some way to be of service, because there is strength in the way that we serve. Especially as a community, our opportunity to serve strengthens us as a spiritual community. It strengthens the community of Tucson. It strengthens the whole world when we choose to be of service. So I would love to know what happened for you this week in engaging that.
Well, thank you so much. I love this assignment. This was like tailor-made for me. Service is actually one of my core values. It is actually a way for me to show up as the light, as we express our mission statement. This is one of my core ways of doing it. And one of the parts of the assignment you gave us, however, was also to try to look at things that maybe you're afraid of, to kind of face those fears. And I did have several things. We're going to talk about one in particular. I work for Tucson Unified School District in a surplus warehouse. And basically my job is to just go through stuff that people think are trash, and find treasures for people. And then make sure that all the other stuff gets taken care of in a responsible manner. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming. I'm the only one who sorts this stuff. I'm the one, but it could be like treasure hunting, but sometimes can be a bit much. I also do other things, and one of my jobs right now is to send out books for our virtual academy students. Mm-hmm. So I've got these kind of things going on. Friday was a grading day, and I knew that I could send out an email. I've got the power. And I can send out emails now to all the teachers in the district to let them know it's grading day. We're open. Come on down and find treasures. I knew sending out this email would make me much busier. So there was some fear, because I had this job for the virtual academy because they have books that need to go out on Monday following spring break. Now I'm working next week, but I like to be ahead. That's my personality. And I'm like, well, if I send out this email, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I had a little fear, but this is my service. This is why I do it. It's my joy. These are free materials for our teachers who are just such essential workers, who have really been on the front lines in these difficult times of quarantine that we've been facing these last 2 years. They've been serving our community in just so many amazing ways. So I didn't do it Monday, and I didn't send it Tuesday, but Wednesday I'm like, okay, I can do it. So I did, I found it, and I hit send. I hit 3 sends, because it's middle school, high school, elementary, and K-8, 4 emails. I sent them all out. And I got my emails in. I had the best open house day ever on Friday. The whole day I had people coming in. I never had a minute where there wasn't someone there. I had one of my best customers come in, and I told someone else, oh, she's my best customer. And you know what he said to me? He goes, well, let me be your best customer in appreciation for what you do. Talk about getting back. And then he asked me, he says, well, do you have any encyclopedias, animal encyclopedias? I have a student, and that's what they love. And I think he has ELD students. And this is a way for this child to engage in a world that's probably really difficult for them to understand. So I looked, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. I had one of those. That was amazing. I can't keep everything, people. I try. So I had that, and I just thought, wow, this is going to be in students' hands. And what did that do for me? Sending out that email, serving in this way, it strengthens me. Yeah. Because my job can be really overwhelming. And I have wonderful people I work with, but they don't always understand what I do. I'm like, Susan, you don't have to keep everything. So they don't always understand, but knowing that little animal encyclopedia is going to be in a student's hand. And I supported this teacher. And one other teacher, she got a bunch of stuff, and she said, this is going to make my 4th quarter. So that strengthens me in doing things, and I know that there's those ripples of love that go out. So it was a great week.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Susan. Always grateful for the ways that we serve. And you brought up something that is, we can also look at this. A lot of us feel like our jobs, it's like our jobs, right? But if we find that service element within our jobs that like lightens our heart, then why does a job have to be a bad thing? I love my job. We continue also our season for nonviolence practice, which began January 30th and is continuing through April 4th. And each week we are bringing up individual from our community. We're calling them the peacemakers. Today to offer some quotes and the affirmation and our peace practice. Please welcome Darwin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our season for nonviolence focus for today is respect. I will share some quotes and ideas as an introduction. Then we'll move to our affirmation and peace practice for this week. First, we hear from Don Miguel Ruiz, who says, "We live in a world that we share with billions of other beings, and only respect allows all of us to live in harmony. When we respect everybody around us, we are in peace with everybody around us." A kid's virtual helpline simply explains it like this: respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even when they are different from you or you don't agree with them. Speaking of kids, Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a role model for this practice if ever there was one. Speaking of kids, when I say I like you I'm talking about the part of you that knows that life is far more than anything you can ever see or hear or touch. That deep part of you that allows you to stand for those things without which humankind cannot survive. Love that conquers hate, peace that rises over triumph, and justice that proves more powerful than greed. With these ideas in mind, let's share this week's affirmation and then move on to our peace practice for the week. I will say the affirmation once, and as I do so, I invite you to really take in these words. The affirmation is, I recognize, respect, and celebrate the inherent divine identity of all people. Now, let's say this together as a community. I recognize, respect, and celebrate the inherent divine identity of all people. And once more with feeling.
I recognize, respect, and celebrate the inherent divine identity of all people.
Now it's time for our nonviolence peace practice. Let's turn our attention to our breathing. Gently allow it to relax you into a comfortable rhythm. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes now. Please feel free to do so. I also invite you to place one hand over your heart and a half smile on your face. And turn your awareness to that inner vault of love, wisdom, and peace at the core of you. You may picture it as a warm light shining from the center of your chest, kind of like E.T. Now imagine seeing a group of people quite unlike you as you are out walking. Perhaps they clearly have different values from yours, different ages, or languages, or political views, or maybe different races or ethnicities. Perhaps you notice a slight inner discomfort as you consider walking past them. You notice a bench and sit down to rest a minute and decide to anchor your consciousness in love. I will read a few sentences and invite you to repeat each one quietly after me within yourself, looking at the people ahead. My soul respects your soul. I respect the light, the love, the peace within you. Oh my, wow! Now I see the light coming from you. It's just like what's in me.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Om Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Om Namah.
As I embrace this moment, this energy that we have all created, I know that I am one with God. I am God. I know that I am universal spirit, living a spiritual experience. And as I know this, I'm able to look out into the audience, out into the world, and know that everyone out there is also living this spiritual experience. And knowing that, I am able to look at each and every person of this planet, no matter what age, no matter what life experience they are living, and just look with a smile on my face and go, they are also God living this spiritual experience. And because I know that nothing else matters. I know that love is all that matters because God is love. And when I look at them with love. And I affirm this is so, and so it is. Amen.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Om Namah. Thank you to our prayer chaplain, Sherry Hoffman, for that beautiful prayer. And now Sherry is going to share with us a sacred reading.
Hi. So today's reading is from Discover the Power Within. Just finished that beautiful class, thank you. And as you see, I marked a lot of pages. So today's is from chapter 7, which is titled, Your Thought is Your Life. Every spiritual concept that excites you, get still and reflect quietly upon it until something happens in you. When you read something that seems strangely familiar, something that is inspiring and unforgettable, it is because the words have stirred an awareness of depth of spirituality within you. It is the releasement of this innate potential that is the object of all study. The words of the teacher, the book, the course of study, even the words of the Bible, are not the object of your search, but the means to the end of a personal revelation of truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Sherry Hoffman. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And appreciate your prayerful countenance and who you are in my life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just feeling it today. Are you feeling it today? Well, we're about to really feel it today. I am always delighted when this particular musical guest joins us on a Sunday. And today we have an extra special surprise as well, that he brought his partner in life, Chelsea Hicks, to sing with him. Please welcome Charlie Hall and Chelsea Hicks.
Just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. That's right. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Remember the day I set you free? I told you you could always count on me, darling. From that day on, made a vow, I'll be there when you need me somewhere, somehow. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Oh no, darling. No wind, no rain, no winter's cold can't stop me, baby. No, no, darling. 'Cause you were my love. If you're ever in trouble, I'll be there on the double. Just tell for me, oh, baby. My love is alive, way down in my heart, although we are miles apart. If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there when you need me, just as fast as I can. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low. Don't you know that it ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe.
Charlie Hall, Chelsea Hicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always a little bit of something here, a little bit of something there. We like to keep it mixed up and keep the the energy going. I love that. I was thinking about that song and, it's a love song, right? Yeah, and we teach love here. Let's be very clear, we teach love here. But I started thinking about who is singing that song? And I had this thought. Imagine that song is being sung by God. And what God is saying and reminding us each is that there is no mountain high enough, no valley low enough, no river wide enough to keep God away because God is the core essence of who we are. That's what I think about when I think about that song. And it talks about all of these circumstances in life, and at the core of all circumstance, when we reveal the divine essence at the core of all circumstance, we experience healing. I talked about that a little bit earlier when we were talking about the healing candle. And so there are no circumstances that are devoid of God, and that's what that song reminds me of today. To allow myself to resonate and root into that principle, which is one of the principles we teach. To root myself into that principle so resolutely that I can never be shaken from my course ever again, because I know who I am and I know who you are. I know who we are. That's what that third part of the mission statement is suggesting. Remember who you are. There is nothing that keeps God away from us because we are that power, we are that presence. I was thinking a lot about this idea. And today's message, if you get the emails that we send out on Friday, I always announce whatever the message title is. And this week it's Plug In and Power On. Plug in and power on. And it is true that we are, well, here's the thing. It's kind of a strange idea because we're actually never not plugged in. We just think we're not plugged in sometimes, but we're actually always plugged in. So part of the journey is to remember that we are always plugged in. But if we need to use a metaphor, let us plug in and power on today. And it made me think about an experience I had in 2017, so 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. I can do math. 5 years ago, I was on my spiritual journey that I take every year to the island of Kauai, and I engage in a week-long spiritual retreat, although I hesitate always to call it a retreat. I like to think of it as an advance, a spiritual advance. It's an opportunity to come together, and we do workshops throughout the week, and we go to sacred sites on the island, and it's a really lovely experience. And for many years, it was always held in January. So January of 2017, I went to the island, and one of the experiences that is consistent year to year is the opportunity to go to the Hindu temple, the Hindu monastery on the island of Kauai. Now, a lot of people don't realize that there is a fully functioning, active Hindu monastery on the island of Kauai. And if you ever go to the island of Kauai and have an opportunity to visit the Hindu monastery, I always tell people it is a must. It is a must. Well, gratefully, because of our association with the spiritual center that was there, we were able to have some time with one of the swamis at the Hindu monastery. And this is an honor because when you go as a visitor, you don't always get to interact with the swamis. But we were able to interact with one of the swamis last year, and in subsequent years as we've gone back, he's always the same lovely man who guides our group. And when we arrived, I'm just going to do a little storytelling. When we arrived, the first thing you do is you go to this Ramada area, and they have a burning bowl in the center. So you begin by engaging in the practice of burning bowl, by writing out whatever it is you are looking to release that day, put it in the bowl, and burn it. And the Swami came out and met us at the Ramada, at the burning bowl. Now, the thing about, there's some protocol that you need to understand as well. You do not touch the Swami under any circumstance. If you are a devotee, and you can actually go up and touch the Swami's feet, but you do not touch the Swami. And when we were gathering, our group was gathering, there's benches all around the Ramada, and we all sat down. And Reverend Rita, who is one of the sponsors of this event, apparently sat a little too close. And the Swami very politely just turned and said, "Do you mind moving 4 inches that direction?" Yeah. And then he invited her to open us with an affirmative prayer. Of course, he just said prayer, right? Because that's what most people understand. And so she opened us in a metaphysical affirmative prayer treatment that was so beautiful, so powerful. And we all sunk into the energy of that prayer. And at the conclusion of it, he turned to her and he said, "My experience of you in this moment is that that was the purest form of prayer I could possibly imagine. Because it is rooted in the deepest understanding and the sense of who you are. You know who you are. It is not a prayer to, it is praying as." And he said, if more people understood that, this world would be a very different world. Knowing who you are. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. Who you are is God. So we continued on our journey. Now they're building a brand new temple at the monastery. It is built out of granite. It is 100% hand carved. There is no machinery that they are utilizing, and they've been working on it for decades. Every year I go back, it's almost done. It's almost done. But each year I go back and we actually see the progress. Now, they aren't doing a lot of tours to the new temple, but they take us up there. And the first year that we went, all we got to do was walk around the temple. Well, this year in 2017, they invited us into the temple. And that was a special experience. One of the things that happened is, as we entered the temple, he took us to the very center area, which had not been consecrated yet, so we were allowed to actually go into the central area. Once it's consecrated, nobody except the swamis, except the monks, get to go in there. And we chanted, and it was glorious, absolutely glorious. We continued our conversation, and Reverend Rita's husband, Reverend Patrick, asked a question of the Swami. And the Swami's response to the question was another question. The Swami said, "So, what I'm figuring out from your question is that you think you're the center of the universe. Is that correct?" And Reverend Patrick, eyes wide, went, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying." And the Swami's response to that was, "Good, now I know who I'm talking to." It was a moment of recognition of the divine essence, and that as we recognize the divine essence in everyone we encounter, we are able to experience more peace. Because when we know who others are, it becomes the great equalizer. There can be no conflict when we know who we are. If I look out here and all I see is God, what is there to have conflict with? This is how we end conflict, by deepening into that understanding. So we are swimming in a sea of love because we are all the center of the universe, each and every one. Here's the thing. In the infinite, everything is at the center of infinity. So you are always at the center of the universe. Now we perceive space and time, right? So we think, oh, well, there must be some limit out there. There's no limit. Without limits, we are each and every one of us the center. He understood that, and he recognized that this group of people understood that as well, not from a sense of ego. Because we could very easily say, oh, well, we're the center of the universe, right? Rooted and just slathered in ego. We're not saying that. What we're saying is, I know who I am, and I know who you are. I know who I am, and I know who you are. Let that be the point from which we flow forth. So I mentioned that we chanted within the temple, and the chant we did was actually the chant that I brought today, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And it wasn't that particular melody that we used, but he explained to me from his tradition, because here's the thing about Hinduism. There are about as many different traditions as there are practitioners of Hinduism. So in their temple, in their tradition, he explained this understanding of Om Namah Shivaya. He said Om, or no. Om, Om is, the frequency of the universe, Om. Na represents the veiling of the true divine universe from most people. It is a recognition that the true divinity of the universe is veiled from most people, that most of us are walking around blind to the true nature of the universe. That's Na. Ma is the cosmos. An opening up, the manifest universe. It is invoking a deeper recognition of a well-ordered, manifest universe. Shiva. Shiva, of course, is the incarnation of divinity. Shiva is the divine revealing grace, as he explained it, and Yah, the soul, an offering of the inner self. And so when we put it together, and it's a loose way of understanding because there is no truly accurate translation in the sense from Sanskrit to English. It just doesn't quite line up, but it essentially says this: I honor the inherent divinity in myself and in all people. So when we say Om Namah Shivaya, we can understand it as saying, I honor the inherent divinity in myself and in all people. And it is about the energy and the feeling underlying the words, not necessarily the words themselves. Because every word that we speak is rooted in feeling, in energy. And when we are in alignment with the energy, that's when we can utilize our words to change the world. We experienced an energy, I won't speak for you. I experienced an energy in opting to do that prayer for Ukraine at the beginning of the service today. Perhaps you felt it too. I felt a shift in this room. It was not because of the words that I was speaking, it's because we collectively gave over to an energetic change within ourselves. And we became a point of light that cannot be denied, that burns so bright, that shines so bright, that we have had an effect on the collective consciousness of this world. And I believe, and I hold firm in this belief, that we have shifted something today. And that the experience that flows forth is an experience of peace. And it first begins in my heart, and it begins in your heart. That is understanding the power of knowing and honoring the inherent divine in myself and in all of us. Om Namah Shivaya. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to spend time with the monks. I had a conversation that year as well. And I acknowledged that I was so grateful for the opportunity and that we had this chance to really connect with this understanding that there is only one energetic power, creative energy, God, whatever we choose to call it. There is only that, and we are that. And that a form of enlightenment is allowing ourselves to open up to that construct, that we are never, ever, ever, here's the thing, we are never actually trying to change the conditions of the world. We could very easily get lost in supplicating ourselves and praying so hard to change the conditions in Ukraine. That's not what we're trying to do. When we come into alignment, what we are looking to do is to work with our divine identity in addressing our relationship to the conditions in this world. When we change our relationship to the conditions in the world, the conditions naturally change. But if we approach it from the idea of, I'm going to change this, then we are utilizing strength in an erroneous way, because we are trying to coerce something to happen as opposed to allowing ourselves to be in alignment with the change we seek. When we are fully in alignment with the change we seek, it's easy. The strength comes naturally. This month, we're talking all about strength as one of the 12 powers. And when we plug in and power on to the inherent strength that we are, we become world changers just by being, not by doing. Our thoughts don't create reality. People will be like, but isn't that what you teach? Our thoughts don't create reality. Reality exists. Reality exists. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, they direct reality. They direct that which already is so that we can live the life we desire. They direct our own relationship to this thing called reality. We've been living in the construct of the veil, the shadow, for a long time. And you know, I think about 2017, that there's been a lot of challenge in this world, right? That's the shadow expressing itself. That challenge is the shadow expressing itself. It is the way that we have veiled our own eyes. But we, even through what we perceive as a very challenging social, cultural, and political landscape, through all of this turbulence, when we know who we are, then we can deepen into our own responsibility to these things. What is the responsibility? The Swami put it this way, and I invite you to take this to heart as you think about, and I'm going to keep bringing it back, think about Ukraine. And think about those that we might call the other, who are forcing themselves into Ukraine. The Swami said this: there is no other. Everyone in this world is family. If we can begin to look through the actions and the activities that people take and see the core essence of who they are, recognize them as our family, that's how things change. That's how things change. That is our responsibility. We have the ability to respond with love, with light, with peace, with wisdom, and with joy in our hearts overflowing. Our work is to plug in and power on, to shine our light, shine your inherent strength, shine that light rooted in the reception of your core identity, And it is not about unifying with or integrating with, it is about knowing the truth of who you are. Now, in prayer, we work with a particular construct of prayer in this New Thought philosophy, and every branch of the New Thought philosophy has their own method in terms of how they connect through prayer, and they're not so different. So in prayer, when we shift the focus away from our human condition, the stuff, and turn it toward our inherent spiritual nature, it is no longer about unifying with, it is about opening, recognizing, and identifying ourselves as that power. Now, there are lots of steps to prayer that we teach. Open, recognize, identify, claim, gratitude, right? But here's the thing. If we only had one step, I would say the most important step is to recognize that God is all there is. If we deeply understand that God is all there is, we don't even need to go to the understanding of identifying as that power, because if God is all there is, then we must inherently be that. And if we approach life from that point of view, knowing that God is all there is, then the seeming conflict dissipates, because it's all seeming, it's all illusion. It's all made up. So that is part of the work. That's part of the work. Technique is anything that works. So if you have a particular prayer technique that works for you, go for it. Go for it. I want to talk a little bit about how we plug in too. How do we plug in? Sing in the shower. Walk in nature. Spend time perusing a bookstore. We have a good one right there. Ask and listen. God is speaking no matter who's talking. Pay attention. Up-level gratitude. There are many, many, many ways that we can plug in. These are just a few. One of my favorites, be more childlike. Find that inner child to just play. We can be serious about our spiritual practice, but let us be lighthearted in living our lives. We don't have to take it all so seriously. Let us be lighthearted. You know, here's the thing. In fact, when we are serious in our practice, because I choose to be serious about my practice, what I mean by serious is that we are consistent and committed, not dour or pensive. That's what I mean by being serious. It is about consistency and commitment to the work that we are doing. Life experiences become more light when we are committed to our spiritual practice and serious about it in that manner. That's how we plug in. That's how we power on. That is how we shine our light. So your light was entrusted to you. Plug in, power on, and shine brightly. Peace and blessings to you. You are magnificent. And now comes time for the homework. The homework this week is this: explore a new spiritual practice this week. Explore something new. See if there's something that you can find in your life that perhaps works with you in a different way, in deepening your understanding of your inherent nature. Find a new way to plug in and see what happens. That's the homework this week. I'm going to invite you all to relax right where you are as we deepen into whatever it is that may have touched us in this moment, any kernel of truth that we may have gone, oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's allow ourselves to drop down into the understanding of our wholeness. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. Right here in this moment, I surrender to this understanding and let myself be moved in this understanding, to let myself be deepened in this understanding that there is only God. There is only God. There is only this universal presence. There is only this creative essence. Nothing else exists. And so all that is God. I drop down into this understanding, recognize and know that our core identity, the identity of each and every one of us, is this magnificent creative principle, this energy, this light, this life, this love, this magnificence. And I lay claim to this idea that we are, each and every one of us, infinitely creative. And so as we think, as we believe, as we feel, we are creating the constructs of our experience of life. And it is done by recognizing the magnificent relationship we have to all that is. And the relationship I understand, the relationship I choose, is the relationship of knowing, remembering who I am, and recognizing that in all, in everyone. It is with gratitude overflowing from within that I allow this plugged-in nature to power me on. And I know the truth in this. And I accept this truth on behalf of each and every one of us as I relax. I relax, trust and know it to be so. And so it is. Amen. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. Thank you. Would you please welcome to the stage the Vice President of our Board of Directors, William Summers, who I have to tell you, I put him to work this week. He worked hard, physical labor hard, right?
Absolutely.
But I paid you, right?
You did pay me, and I'll tell you, I was so excited. It was Saturday when I got the mail, and I got my check from Unity, you know, for being on the board. And I don't know if the people in the room know this, but the board in its generosity agreed to double my salary for all the work that I'm doing around here. So thank you to the board. So I got the check, you know, and of course, you know, my fingers are shaking, I'm ripping it open, and right away my eyes go to the dollar amount there, and sure enough, you know, I'm looking at the number, and the board did double it, and instead of 1 0, now there was 2 zeros there, so, you know, it was like, you know, we serve the community in a lot of ways. We have a lot of volunteers around here, and one of the other ways we serve the community is through our generous giving. Through that giving, we've created a spot that's not only changing our lives, but is actually changing Tucson and the world. So we appreciate all the volunteers we have. We can't thank you enough, but we also appreciate all the people that so generously give of their treasure to us to create this experience called Unity of Tucson. And I don't know if you know, but one of the board members told me that once the giving reaches a certain point, they're adding a 3rd zero to my check.
I will approve that with the board gratefully. Gratefully. There are many ways that you can contribute to our community. You can text Unity Tucson to 73256 if that is your method. The baskets are going to be going around. I would love for you to hold whatever it is you're offering Unity of Tucson today in your hand. Just allow yourself to hold it in your hand. And if you want to put it up to your heart, feel free to do that as well as we share together our givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is, and so it is. As the baskets go around, we'll sing our giving song today, our gratitude song. God is my source, God is my power, and I have everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause I have everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, and I have everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause I have everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, and I have everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause I have everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, and I have everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause I have everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, and I have everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause I have everything I need. Yeah. I would love to let you know about a few things that are happening here at Unity of Tucson. Of course, we have our spiritual education series continuing. Susan Smith, who was our Keeper of the Flames today, as our licensed Unity teacher, will be teaching the 12 Powers beginning a week from this coming Wednesday. Begins March 23rd, Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. You can register for that online or in the bookstore. You can also call the office. There are many ways that you can connect and get registered for that experience. It's going to be an awesome class. I'm so looking forward to it. Also, good news about your brain. It is good news. Here's the good news about your brain. It's this offering is full now. Grateful that it is filled up. So we will find another time to offer it again, I imagine, but it may not be till next fall. Jim, grateful for you and offering this opportunity for us to learn. The information is there, but the class is full, so there we are. We do have a spiritual experience that is happening today at the Labyrinth at 4 p.m. Lisa Spravka is going to engage the community with incorporating movement and sound with the purpose of expressing and witnessing. And so you are encouraged to be there. We put up their beta testers needed because this is a project that she is working on developing herself to share with the world. If you have any questions about it, I think I see Lisa back there. Are you there? Yes. If you have questions about it, speak with Lisa, who's got her hand up there. You can speak with her about it. It's at 4 p.m. today, so check that out. The NAMI Walk is going to be April 2nd. We have a Unity of Tucson team that is going to be walking, and if you would still like to join that team, there is time to do that. Another way that you can support if you're not going to be able to walk is to support the team financially as well, because that's the point of purpose. We are there to raise money for the National, I put association, it is Alliance, isn't it? It's the National Alliance for Mental Illness, so we'd love to have your support with that. We are going to have an outing to the Gaslight Theater on April 10th at 3 p.m. We are going to see the show, The Three Musketeers. You can see Molly in the foyer for tickets. We are asking that you purchase your tickets so we know our count by next Sunday. Of course, Linda is committing to make sure that she is there playing that day.
And maybe Charlie
And maybe Charlie's going to be there performing that day as well. Yes, yes, yes. The youth need you. I would love for you to know that we have need for support as a volunteer in our youth program. If you would like to sign up to support the youth program as a volunteer, you can speak with Chris Paxton, who is right here waving her hand. They're ready with the kids. Or you can send an email to yfm@unitytucson.com, or you can sign up. There's a sign-up sheet in the foyer. I do want to quickly just offer a blessing for all that has been collected here as the basket has made its way back forward. Let's just understand and know that this magnificent God in action that has been placed in this basket moves through this time, through this place, through this experience, and it is on a temporary stop to participate in the greater circulation of all life. And so we are blessed by all that has been collected here. And it is with absolute, absolute joy that I honor the blessing, knowing that it is rooted in the understanding that it, as well as each and every one of us, is God expressing. It is with joy that I say, yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Gratitude for all, and so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains on duty today are Sherry Hoffman, who you heard from earlier today. Also, Deborah Walker, who is here. If you have need of prayer after the service, they will be available in the sanctuary. Seek them out. They can be recognized by their purple prayer shawls, prayer stoles. Seek them out if you need. You can also use our prayer box. If you have a prayer, you can write it down, put it into the prayer box. That prayer request box is in the lobby. I want to say thank you to everybody who has made today the magnificent experience that it is. Let us say thank you to our tech team, Wally and Don and Greg. I'd like to offer my sincere and deep gratitude to Susan and to Sherry and to Darwin for your participation today. I want to publicly offer my gratitude for Dawn Register, who comes in each Sunday morning and makes our coffee. Thank you, Dawn. So there is coffee available in Harmony Hall next door when we are complete here today. Let's give it up for this magnificent band, this magnificent set of musicians, Linda, Joshua, Raphael. And our guests in service today, Charlie, Hall, and Chelsea Hicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As the kids make their way up here, let us complete our time by engaging in the prayer of divine awareness, I am calling this now. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Feel free to dance if you feel like dancing. The word has been spoken, the songs have been sung, our hearts have been opened, together as one. Center of creation, we are divine congregation. We are no separation. We are here we stand, the power of one hand in hand. We shine like the sun, here we stand, together as one family. Here we stand. Why don't you take this one?
The truth has been spoken, the message received.